The Dragon Ball sub versus dub debate is stupid. Guys, I get this comment all the time on my episodes reaction channel as to whether or not I should use the sub or the dub. Put your opinion in the comments because we're about to figure out what this is all about.
Nice move, but your shoe came untied.
Is sub better or is dub better?
I'm not going to fall for that. I don't even have shoelaces.
Now, if you are at all on Twitter, you have probably been drawn into the recent debate in the Dragon Ball Z community.
Only time I was on Twitter is because my channel got deleted. Got it back.
Being the debate over the quality of the older dubs of Dragon Ball Z, particularly the ones that take massive liberties with the script, that make huge changes in the dialogue between characters, to the point where at least some say they're essentially not the same people anymore. And today we're going to be going over this debate and why I ultimately agree that the older dubs are really indefensible and have probably left permanent damage in the Dragon Ball community that cannot be fixed.
Do you guys agree with that? Has it done permanent damage, the English dubs? Here's the thing about dub versus sub for me. I get that the sub, it probably is better because it's the original material, basically. But I don't read quickly. So when I'm reacting, people are like, you need to be doing the dub. I'm like, you wouldn't watch if I was doing the dub because I wouldn't process any of it. I would be so slow. By the end of it, I wouldn't even know what was going on. And you think I'm bad now. You think I can't pay attention now. Wait till I'm reading. It's really bad then.
So the inciting incident of this massive debate was this Twitter argument in which
the fact that there's so many English-speaking Dragon Ball fans that have absolutely zero respect whatsoever for the original Japanese versions of the series is honestly just really depressing. They have zero respect. Well, is it that they don't have respect, or is it that they just, they don't read well?
Someone said the fact that there's so many English-speaking Dragon Ball fans that have absolutely zero respect whatsoever for the original Japanese versions of the series is honestly really depressing. In which another person responded, why would you care about how people who don't speak Japanese view a Japanese original? We speak English, we watched the English version. In which, Truggler here responded
not a bad point,
with, notice how not a single line matches the original script, in which they share one of the most important scenes in all of Dragon Ball Z, which is the conversation between Goku and Vegeta before their big fight at the end of the Saiyan saga. Now, in the
is it different or is
original Japanese and the manga, genuinely the thesis statement of the arc is shared here, in which Vegeta essentially expouts how he is the Saiyan elite and will always be better than Goku because he's an elite and Goku is a low-rated scum loser, whatever.
Okay.
But Goku says essentially, no, here on Earth, I was raised to believe that anyone can overcome anyone else through enough hard work. And so if you see the clip here, you can see that the dialogue is mostly following along with what I just said. Of course, there are slight translation differences depending on which manga
Between him talking and me having to read two different things, I'm like, I hope he just tells me, because
or what anime translation you look at, but essentially that thesis statement remains the same between pretty much any.
It wasn't that they couldn't translate accurately. They chose. Oh, now that I understand.
Translator. The issue becomes when you turn on the audio for this clip, as it's sharing the Funimation dub, at least the most popular Funimation dub version of the scene, that completely changes the script to a detrimental level degree for the entire story. Again, I can't show the whole clip because I would probably get copyright.
No, he's not joking on that. That's one of the reasons why I haven't started the Dragon Ball, reacting on my episodes channel, is because, I mean, that's a tough one. Yeah, that's a tough one. You really got it. Copyright's tough on that one.
Issues playing just full visual audio, but I think the most important part is specifically the part where Goku, at least in the original story, shares his major ideal of the arc, that even the most low-born can overcome the elite if they work hard enough. Meanwhile, in this English dub version, Goku is talking about job security.
Besides, I've seen how you treat your partners. Not much job security.
So how...
Wait, what they're actually saying...
Besides...
Even a left behind might be able to overcome an elite if he tries desperately enough. Left behind. What does that mean?
I've seen how you treat your partners. Not much job security.
So how did we get here? Well,
because I don't understand the sentence. I understand job security, though.
zooming out and looking at this entire scene, for whatever reason, they take massive liberties with Vegeta's character and dialogue here.
I'll let you know at the end of this what I think about this whole thing.
Like I've been talking about. Instead of saying he's superior and that Goku is lesser than, he's actually trying to just hire Goku as a replacement for Nappa.
I'm only going to say this once, so listen carefully. I, Vegeta, Prince of all Saiyans, would like to offer you, Kakarot, the opportunity... I, Vegeta, Prince of all Saiyans, would like to offer you, Kakarot, the opportunity to stand beside me in this conquest. With Nappa gone...
What is Toad?
I could use a good man.
Now, this is a major problem for some...
Okay, so... that was hard to process, but I think what happened is in the audio version, he's like trying to recruit him. And I don't think that's what he was doing.
Reasons, even just ignoring the fact that this is simply not what Vegeta is saying in any other version of the story. A lot of people are pointing out that other dubs and translations that were...
If y'all are wondering why I'm struggling so much, I'm dyslexic. It's difficult to read in time with speech. And this is really, really hard because he's got you listening and reading two different things at one time.
Available at the exact same time are infinitely more accurate.
Can you even tell if these are Spanish or Japanese subtitles?
People point to the Latin American / Spanish version, in which the dialogue is essentially almost one-to-one. So anybody saying that at this time in the 90s, it was impossible to make just an accurate translation, we have direct proof that this just isn't true.
Well, if you take the Super Nintendo, the regular Nintendo, and you look at the Japanese version versus the American version, you see how we're like, why did they change it? Because they were studying and they tried to figure out what they would be attracted to, what was in their society, what they were used to, what looked normal. That might have been what they were doing here. They might have been like, if we want this to work in America, because if you remember, Dragon Ball didn't do as well as Dragon Ball Z in America. And it may be because of stuff like this. They changed it and tried to study and figure out. I'm just spitballing here. I don't actually know what happened. They may not have done that at all, but that could be the case.
Regardless, getting back to the point at hand. The first major issue with making Vegeta instead try to recruit Goku instead of saying what he actually says is that this is just a retread of Raditz's character. We're essentially getting deja vu because, again, Raditz's whole thing was doing the exact same thing and just trying to hire Goku onto his Saiyan squad.
So I haven't watched the English dub of this. I've only been watching a bridge because that's where I was guided to, but I wouldn't call that deja vu in a bad way. It's like, I mean, clearly he keeps having the pull and the tug of this is what you were made for. Come, do it, join it, don't let us down.
Threatening him and kidnapping his son and saying he had to kill all those people and whatnot. This change, for some reason, makes Vegeta a more derivative character because he's doing exactly what a character from like 20 episodes before was doing. So it makes Vegeta actually less original. The next major problem is that this also just undermines what immediately happens after. The big thing with the conversation between Goku and Vegeta is that this is setting up the massive beatdown that Vegeta is about to receive, and he essentially has an ego death where he has a breakdown that Goku managed to actually overpower him, and that his entire view of the world that he has had essentially drilled into him since birth just isn't true. And that's why he acts the way he does for the rest of this arc, where he essentially freaks out. You get no context that Vegeta is going to act this way when the scene is instead Vegeta, again, just trying to get a new henchman and just adding in a funny line about job security. Now, a couple big YouTubers have spoken up, again, in defense of this scene. And so I want to quickly just address their arguments in particular, just so we can see kind of where the defense for this scene is coming from.
I'm curious.
Again, when it comes to these kinds of critiques, I mean, I have nothing against these guys. They are just the loudest voices.
Please don't harass anyone I'm about to mention.
In this conversation that I don't agree with, so please do not harass them in any kind of way. I have nothing against these people. You get the deal. I'm just addressing what they've specifically said on this topic. So the first person to speak on this was Dado Doya. Okay, so post-editing Lonk here. Okay, so originally here I was going to talk about Dado Doya's tweet on this issue where he says, but notice how it's actually based because we get the I've seen how you treat your partners with so much job security line. I say we let the dubs be interpretations of media again. Let's get some more hype moments and aura in there. I should have scrolled down This is clearly a joke tweet, and he says as much.
Oh.
And so I felt unfair if I just left this whole section in, kind of dunking on this clear joke. That's on me. I should have probably looked at that first. This gets a pass. I essentially just talked about how the original version adds way more hype to the scene than the silly job security line. You're off the hook for now, Dadadoya.
It reminds me of when people tell me on this channel when I'm reacting to different animes, just watch the show. And I'm like, I am. I even had somebody call me a disgusting person because I didn't just watch the show. I just posted the, what was it called? My alarm's going off. I just posted the link to the thing. I was like, here, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know what to do.
Other person I want to talk about is the opinion shared by Jeff Thu, or Mother's Basement. And he says, this is actually a fascinating example of the benefits of the loose 90s approach to dubbing. Less true to what Toriyama originally made up as he went along, but more effective in setting up the redemptive character arc that Vegeta eventually follows.
Okay.
It makes him more likable. So ignoring the dig at Toriyama's writing style, the major problem I think with this analysis is that setting up Vegeta as a redeemable character in this scene does not work for the story. Ignoring the fact that trying to hire Goku as a new henchman is completely selfish and doesn't set him up for redemption whatsoever regardless, Vegeta at this point in no way is supposed to be a good person. He has not had any of the things yet that actually imbue with him the character changes that are supposed to make him a good person.
Now, you guys let me know that are more experts for sure. Is this a common thing throughout the series? He's focusing on one specific thing. Is he doing that because this is like the worst case scenario? This is absolutely, or can you think of other situations that were even worse than this? I need to know because I've noticed we're really focusing on this one topic quite a bit.
Later. But by having this potential spark of goodness in him now, it makes the whole quote-unquote redemption arc that he goes through less significant. Because if you're considering the fact that he's like almost already along, despite the fact he has not faced any adversity to his ideals, then what's the point of the whole character arc? By having him start literally from zero and eventually becoming the guy at the end of the Buu saga who essentially helps save the entire universe, that's the whole arc of Vegeta. He gets it wrong and wrong and wrong again. You're not supposed to like Vegeta until the very end of the story. He's a loser up until that last moment when he finally understands his place in the universe, right? So I think also this opinion, at least from a narrative position, also doesn't work. I think the original part was infinitely better. Even if you want to say setting up for Vegeta.
I mean, I believe 100% that the sub is better. 100%. I don't have any issue with that. What I don't like is, the beginning, somebody saying something like, not respecting the jazz. It's like, it's not respecting. It's just, it's the way some people have to consume it,
Vegeta's future redemption.
I've had a lot of people thank me for doing the dub versions of these shows on my episodes channel because they're like, no reactors do it. They all do the subs. And I get why, because people get on your back when you don't do the subs. I'm like, I can't do it. If I do it, it's going to be boring. I'm going to miss a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to enjoy it. You're not going to enjoy watching me. I won't be able to react because I'll be so busy processing what I'm looking at because of the dyslexia, So for me, I'm like, I don't even care if they say the sub thing because they don't know that that's what they're coming in contact with. If they realize that, they would be like, oh, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's bad that they're asking me to do that. It's just not. It's not a request I can fulfill.
Is good. It should not come right now when the most important conversation in the arc is happening. Like, you can have this in other places. You could even see in the dub that they add conversation when no one is actually talking in the original Japanese. If they wanted to throw in the idea that Vegeta was getting redeemed, they could have done that, but not now.
True.
It takes away from the most important scene to have potential foreshadowing, which I think, again, is just an awful decision. Now, under the tweet, Jeff Thu goes on to say, remember, the goal here wasn't to perfectly preserve the original for an otaku demographic that barely existed at the time. It was to make a Japanese cartoon as palatable as possible for American and Canadian kids.
See, that's what I was saying. I haven't, ever heard this quote or anything, but that's what I was assuming was very possible because I know that I heard in another video at one point that Dragon Ball was not that accepted in America. And I don't know if Dragon Ball came first or if it came second, but it wasn't that accepted. If it came first, that would make. I mean, I know it came first in Japan. I'm just saying, like in America, I feel like they tried Dragon Ball and it didn't really do that well. But Dragon Ball Z is where it really started to do good.
Kids with no exposure to the first half of the story, and I don't disagree with this.
Oh, and in addition to that, is Dragon Ball as bad at the English dub as Dragon Ball Z is? That would also help answer that question.
But I have no idea why changing the dialogue in this scene in particular makes it more palatable than what was there before.
Solid
I guess
point.
You could have changed the grave lines.
It could be that the way you have, guessing again, the way you have to say it in English might have been too long for the clips or whatever, because they have to do that too. That's why sometimes, the characters will speak really fast in a situation because they don't really have time to say what they got to say. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty common.
So it's kind of less violent, but the overall message of this scene is completely understandable and completely valid.
And what is Toad? What is that?
Valid for American cartoons at the time. I have, again, no idea why this changed or why this is a valid defense of this scene at all. But just to wrap this all up, this is just one.
It could have been their translator wasn't that good at translating.
Scene. There are many, many other scenes in the Funimation dub, some translated better than ever. You can get into how the dub repeatedly makes mistakes that it then has to retcon later, just making it a more confusing thing to watch. But at the end of the day, this is not the current dub. There are much more updated and better versions of Dragon Ball Z that you can watch that are accurate. So I truly do not understand why people are still holding on to this old dub like it's some sort of paragon to look up to when it comes.
Oh, I can answer that. One word: nostalgia. That's it. Nostalgia. They grew up with that being what the show was. Didn't even probably understand that it was translated from Japanese. They were just like, this is a show. And I mean, I'm sure that's just nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you liked.
Comes to dubbing and why it's actually really good. It's simply bad. We have proof that it could have been done better. And at the end of the day,
simply bad. If it's bad, why did it do so well in America? Why did it do so well, whereas Dragon Ball didn't? And I may be wrong. Dragon Ball may have came second in America. I'm not sure. But if it's bad, now again, are we focusing on the only bad example, right? Or is there better examples out there? I don't know. You let me know in the comments, guys. I really want to know if there's better examples. Remember, like Superman, live humbly, do good.